going to start in squat position, Malasana. If you need extra support for your heels, roll up the back of your mat, place a rolled up towel underneath your heels. Lift your heart into your thumbs, gently opening out through the knees, starting to stretch the hips, and find your breath. Inhaling and exhaling all the way down into the belly, beginning to initiate your Ujjayi breathing or your victorious breath. Letting that little swirl happen in the back of the throat. On the exhale, place your hands down. Leave your right foot forward. Step your left foot behind you, lowering your left knee down. Find your lizard lunge. Keep the right toes turning out. Untuck the back foot. Shine your heart forward and find your breath again. Inhaling and exhaling, lengthen out through the back of the neck. Soften the face. Tucking the back toes under, lift the back knee, stepping the foot back in, coming back into your squat position, breathing here for 3, lift heart into thumbs, finding the openness of the hips, gently dropping that tailbone straight down towards the floor, lengthening up through the spine. Let that energy spiral around the spine, lifting the top of the head, crown of the head floating parallel to the ceiling. Exhale, releasing the hands down to the mat, stepping the right foot back, leaving the left foot forward, toes turned out. Dropping the back knee, untucking the back foot, coming into your lizard lunge on the other side. Shrugging the shoulders down away from the ears, sliding them into their pockets, shining the heart forward. Create space for your breath here. Taking all the options that are available in terms of turning the toes out, gently engaging through the front hip, stretching the hip flexor on the back leg. Soften your face. Notice if you're biting down on the back teeth. See if you could separate the jaw. Let that flow of breath happen in through the nose, out through the nose. Once again, putting the weight in your hands, tuck the toes under, lift your back knee, stepping all the way in to your squat, garland pose, last time. Bringing the palms to press right at heart center, lifting the heart into the thumbs. Dropping your right hand down to the mat. On the inhale, spin your left arm open. On the exhale, sweep it down, taking a gentle twist. Inhale, right arm swings. Exhale, swing back down towards the floor. Well, let's do that again. Inhaling up. Exhale, take it slow. Inhale, last time. Exhale, coming all the way back down. Put your weight into your hands as you start to lengthen out, heel toe, the feet in so that toes are pointing towards the short edge of your mat. Bending your knees, clasp your opposite elbow overhead and hang. Uttanasana, forward fold. Hands sliding your hips, bend your knees more deeply and roll all the way up to the top until you reach your Tadasana, standing mountain pose. Releasing your hands down by your sides, let's warm up with 3 rounds of Surya Namaskara A, sun salutations. Inhale your arms over your head joyfully. Exhale, swan dive over your legs. Inhale, flattening your back. Exhale, coming to your fold, plant your hands. Walk your feet one at a time behind you. Rock forward on the balls of your feet. Lower yourself down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Scoop tops of your feet, upward facing dog, thighs engaged. Exhale, flipping the feet, downward facing dog. Let's take a moment here, pedaling the feet, working out any kinks. Shaking the head, bending the knees, and lengthening back up. At the bottom of your next exhale, bend your knees more deeply. Look for your thumbs and walk your feet towards your hands. Inhale to flatten your back. Exhale, coming back down to your fold. Softening your knees, reverse your swan dive, come all the way back up. Exhale, palms coming to press. Inhale to start again. Exhale, swan diving over the legs. Inhale, flattening your back. Exhale, coming to your fold. Plant your hands, walk your feet behind you one at a time, plank position. Rock forward, lower down, elbow and shoulder are both in alignment, scoop, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Once again, pedal the feet, breathe. Start to wrap the tricep muscles out and slightly around, spiraling the energy, creating space on either side of the head. Bending the knees, look gently forward, walk, float, or hop your feet in towards your hands. Inhale to flatten your back. Exhale to find your fold. Softening your knees, reverse your swan dive, coming all the way back up. Exhale, palms come to press. We'll begin again. Inhale. Exhale, swan dive over the legs. Inhale, flattening the back. Exhale, come to your fold, plant your hands, walk, float, or hop your feet behind you. Rock slightly forward, lower halfway down, scoop, upward facing dog on the inhale, and float the sits bones up and back. Downward facing dog. 5 breaths here. If your breath got away from you, bring it back. In through the nose, out through the nose. At the bottom of your next exhale, bend your knees deeply, look towards your thumbs, walk your feet in towards your hands. Inhale, flattening your back. Exhale, coming to your fold. Reversing your swan dive, soften your knees, come all the way back up. Exhale, palms come to press. Samastitihi. Surya Namaskara B. Inhaling, sitting back into your chair pose, arms sweep up on either side of the ears. Taking an option here, dragging the hands down to Anjali Mudra, heart center. Lift the heart into the thumbs, rock your body weight back into the backs of the legs, letting the hamstrings and the glute muscles start to fire and catch you here. Hug that low belly in, gently tuck your tailbone up and under just slightly. On the next exhale, tip the whole thing forward and bringing the hands down to the mat, find your forward fold. Inhale, flattening your back. Exhale, finding your fold, planting your hands, walk your feet behind you, plank position. Rock forward, lower halfway down, scoop upward facing dog, and flipping your feet downward facing dog. This time, inhale your right leg up. Exhale, dropping the foot right between the hands. Roll your left heel down, rising for Virabhadrasana, Warrior One. Once again, taking the option of pressing palms together at heart center, pull your right hip back, lift your heart into your thumbs. Breathe. Inhale, the arms come up gently. Exhale, spinning your back heel up. Hang out in your runner's lunge for a moment. Fingertips on the mat like Spider-Man. And then shifting slightly forward, place the full palm down, walk back to your plank position, hover forward, lower down, scoop up, and finish out in downward facing dog. Inhale, your left leg goes up. Exhale, drag it between your hands, roll your back heel down. Inhale to rise. Once again, taking the option, pressing palms together right at heart center. Draw that left hip back in and lengthen up through the side waist. Virabhadrasana, Warrior One. Using that inner thigh to re-engage here. Inhale the hands up. As you exhale, coming down into your runner's lunge. Hold here. Ignite your back leg. Shine your heart forward. And then lunging forward slightly, place the palms down, walk the feet back. Stay there, hover into Chaturanga Dandasana, scoop into upward facing dog, and flip, downward facing dog. Find 5 breaths here. At the bottom of your next exhale, bend your knees deeply, look for your thumbs, walk, float, or hop your feet in towards your hands. Inhale to flatten your back. Exhale to find your fold. We're going back to our chair on the inhale, sweeping, taking our option, dragging the hands down to heart center. Anjali Mudra. Firing up the backs of the legs, the hamstrings, the glutes, really sit back into the backs of the heels. lifting the heart, rolling the shoulders, tucking the tail, finding all of those cues. Let's omit the standing here just to tip forward on the exhale, reaching for the floor, Uttanasana. Inhale, flattening the back. Exhale, finding fold, plant the hands, walk, float, or hop your feet behind you. Rock forward on the balls of your feet, lower halfway. Scoop, upward facing dog. And flip, downward facing dog. Inhale, send that right leg up, down dog split. Exhale, draw the nose in towards the knee, hold. Dropping the foot right between the hands. Roll your back heel down and rise. Virabhadrasana, warrior one, right leg forward. Slide your hands down to your heart center here. Find big inhales and exhales. Chin floats parallel to the floor. Lift the heart into the thumbs. Breathe. What's happening to the low rib? Slide it up and in, and then inhale the arms. Exhale, hang out in runner's lunge, spinning that back heel up, hold here. Pull that right hip back in, let the inner thigh happen. And then lunging slightly forward, place the palms down, step back into your plank position, hold. Use your back to press the floor away. Knees can come down if you want or if you need them to. And then taking your vinyasa if you'd like, or heading straight back to downward facing dog. Inhale, sending that left leg up, down dog split. Exhale, drawing the nose in towards the knee in towards the nose. And then dropping the foot between the hands, rolling your back heel down. Rise when you're ready. Sliding hands down to heart center. Continuously squaring the hips and spinning the rib cage forward, finding your warrior one. Might mean you need to shorten that back stance. Keeping the front knee right over the front ankle. Lift heart into thumbs. Drag the thumbs down, shoulders down. Chin floating parallel to the floor. Tuck in that low belly. Tuck in the low rib. And then inhale the arms up. Exhale, back heel spins up. And back leg charges into that runner's lunge. Body stretches long over the front leg. Lean forward just a hair. Plant the palms, step back into the lunge so that you're in your plank position. Really press the floor away. Use your back muscles. And then from here, lower down chaturanga or go straight back to downward facing dog, whichever you prefer. We'll be in downward facing dog for 4 more breaths. Wrap those upper arms out away from the ears. Melt down the place in between your thumb and your forefinger. Hide your heels behind your toes. At the bottom of your next exhale, bend your knees, look forward, walk, float, or hop to the front of your mat. Inhale, flattening your back. Exhale, finding your fold. Inhale, sweeping back into your chair again, your Utkatasana. Palms come to press right at heart center. Sit back into the backs of your legs. Toes are free floating. Exhale, coming forward over the legs. Uttanasana. Inhale, flattening the back. Exhale, finding the fold. Plant the hands, walk, float, or hop your feet behind you. Rock forward on the balls of your feet, lower down, chaturanga, scoop, upward facing dog, and flip. Downward facing dog. Last time, inhaling that right leg up. Exhale, draw the nose and the knee together, crunch. And then dropping the foot between the hands. Roll your back heel down. Rising this time, Virabhadrasana, warrior one, spinning those upper arm bones back into their sockets. Exhale, hanging out in runner's lunge for just a moment. Chest stretches long, parallel to the top of that front leg. Breathe into that low belly. Spin that back heel up and really ignite the back leg. Rising once again, come into your high lunge, crescent lunge. Exhale, dropping the back knee. Inhale to lift. Exhale, dropping it down. Hands can always come to the hips if you need them to. Good. Keep all the weight in the back of that front leg. One last time. Coming all the way up, rise, breathe into the space. Open your arms out to the side, look forward, and take off into your airplane pose, warrior three variation. Keep dripping that left hip down towards the floor. If you're feeling brave today, gently put your fingers down on the mat, finding your standing split or standing L shape. You can use blocks here as well. Keep dripping that left hip down, breathe into this space. Set your left toes down gently, make it an exaggerated transition back to your runner's lunge, coming right back to the place from where you came. Lunging slightly forward, walk the palms down, step back to your plank position, your choice, chaturanga or straight to downward facing dog. Let's even it out on the other side. Sweeping that left leg up. On the exhale, pull the nose and the knee together, tiger's pose. Dropping the foot between the hands. Roll your back heel down, 45-degree angle, and rise. Virabhadrasana, warrior one. This time, spiraling the heads of the arm bones back into their sockets of the shoulder. Exhale, spinning that back heel up, hold in your runner's lunge. Ignite your back foot, really turn on the power here. Pull low belly through to spine, elongate through the top part of your body first. And then it's almost if you're hinging from that front hip, rise into your crescent lunge. Arms can stay lifting or hands can slide to your hips. As you exhale, drop the back knee. Inhale, rise. Exhale, gently lower. Inhale to lift. Exhale. And inhale, two more. Palms can always press if you need them to. Good. Coming to that rise. Tipping your eye gaze out. Palms can open out to the sides or press at namaste as you find your warrior three variation here. Keep dripping that right hip down towards the floor. Maybe feeling bravery today, resting the fingers to the mat or to a block. Standing split or standing L shape more accurately. Maybe starting to work on balance, separating one hand from the floor, bringing it to the ankle. Challenging by switching, taking non-dominant and dominant hands. And then resting the fingers back down. Soften the front knee. Make it the most exaggerated transition back to your runner's lunge. Shifting slightly forward, plant the palms, step back to your plank position, your choice of a vinyasa, or straight back to down dog. Breathe for 4 more big breaths into this downward facing dog. At the bottom of your next exhale, bend your knees deeply, look for your thumbs, walk, float, or hop your feet in towards your hands. From your place in Uttanasana, heel toe your feet slightly wider apart. Gently clasp your opposite elbow and soften your knees. A little sway from side to side. Stretching the back, stretching the hips. Soften the knees as much as you need to. And when this comes to a close for you, reaching fingertips back down to the mat. Interlacing your yogi peace fingers with your big toes. So thumb and forefinger and middle finger. Soften these as much as you'd like. Inhale, flattening the back. Exhale, gentle pull down. Root down through that big toe mound. Let the top of the head gently drop parallel to the floor. Maybe starting to lift the sits bones up and back, maybe pulling just slightly on the toes, even as you close off that peace sign by rocking forward. Once again, inhale to flatten the back wherever you are. Exhale, separating the hands and bringing the palm flipped, facing up underneath the feet, gorilla pose. And as you exhale again, bending the elbows, letting gravity take its course. Rocking slightly forward, maybe a little bit of a massage with the toes. Inhale, straightening out through your arms and your back at the same time. Exhale, separating the hands out from underneath the feet, coming into your forward fold. Walking your fingers just about 2 inches further forward, plant weight into your right foot and kick your left leg into your standing split. But make it a different kind. Open your left hip and bend the knee. So you're stacking your left hip on top of your right leg. And then slowly begin to walk your hands towards that right side, feeling a big stretch through the left side of the body. Gently walking your hands back to the center line, returning back to that standing split. Soften your front knee, send that left leg far behind you. When you're ready, slide the fingers back and rise to your high lunge. Exhale, sweeping your hands behind your back. Interlace your fingers. Inhale, lift the heart up and open, taking a counterbalancing stretch from all the pressing we're doing. Opening up shoulders. You can always clasp opposite elbows if hands don't feel good. Exhale, take a fold over the front leg, humble warrior. Body is lifting slightly up and away from the front leg, just as it did in our runner's lunge, lengthening out. Inhale to rise. Exhale to separate the fingers. Inhale, sweeping up. Exhale, sweeping into your warrior 3 variation. Feeling brave, resting the fingertips on the mat, taking that second variation of our standing split, bending the left knee, kicking that heel back. And walking once again back to our start position, standing split, arms to the right. Stretching through that left waist, noticing we're not collapsing through the right waist, walking back to the center line. Leveling the leg out and stepping the left foot to meet the right. Sitting back into your chair pose, rise. Exhale, swan dive over the left. Inhale, flattening the back. Exhale, finding your fold. Switching to the other side. Putting your body weight into the left side. Sweeping that right leg up, standing split style. Flexion through the foot. Bending the knee, kicking that hip up over the left side. Different kind of standing split this time, taking a big stretch through the right side as you crawl your fingers over towards that left side. Feeling the big stretch through the right rib cage, right shoulder. And then walking back to the center line. Tilting that hip back down, soften through the front knee, step the leg far behind you, rise. High lunge. Exhale, sweeping your hands behind you. Interlace the fingers or clasp the opposite elbow, lifting up and open through the chest. Really enjoy the stretch. Maybe you're working your palms together. Maybe you're clasping a small towel. Exhale, folding into your humble warrior. Body is lifting away from the front leg. Back leg is your rudder. Inhale, pulling yourself back to the start position. Exhale, separate the hands. Inhale, let them sweep up overhead. Put a little bit more weight into that front leg and take off into your warrior 3. Energy through the fingers. Energy through the ball of the back foot. Exhale, fold into your standing split. Bending the right knee. Take that right hip open over the left side. And then walking the hands to the left. We're back in that same space. Only go so far as you feel comfortable. Sides can be different, honoring that. Walking it back to the center line. Leveling the hip first. Kicking the right foot beside the left. And sitting back into your chair pose. Inhale to sweep up. Exhale, sweeping your hands back. Rolling up onto the balls of the feet. Rising slowly into sparrow's pose. Eye gaze goes to something unmoving here. Heart pulls forward. Exhale. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, swan dive over the left. Inhale, flattening the back. Exhale, finding the fold. Plant the hands, walk, floater, hop your feet behind you. Rock forward, lower halfway. Scoop, upward facing dog. And then switching to downward facing dog. Take a moment here to breathe. If your breath got away from you, bring it back. Sweeping that right leg up, bend the right knee, stack the right hip on top of the left hip. Notice what this does to your left shoulder. Recommit with the upper body. Really get that right hip stacked on top of the left. Opening up through the front of the pelvis here. Gently let go with the right hand and tip into your wild thing. When you're ready to reverse and it comes to a close, kicking your way back out, finding your way to three-legged dog, sending that knee through, spinning the leg and coming into your pigeon pose. Check out that back foot, make sure it's parallel to the long line of your mat. And then gently pull that front hip back and in. Spider-Man, Spider-Woman, fingers, open that heart. If you need to add a little prop, a blanket, or a towel underneath the right hip, do so here. And then maybe you exhale, keeping the back long, settling down into a more restful variation of pigeon, stacking hands to fists, or maybe bringing the forehead to the backs of the hands. Notice that in this position, you could start to breathe, softening into the hip, spinning all of your energy into releasing tension, letting go of things you no longer need. Slowly walk back to elbows first, and then bringing fingertips back down to the mat. Slowly but surely working your way up, walking Spider-Woman fingers out to the outside edges of the mat. Open up through the heart, even if that means you have to lift the hips just a little bit. Create more space. Flex through that right foot, open the heart. Here, breathe into the back, into the lift of the chest and the heart, leading you up, up, up. And then bring the palms down, tuck your back toes under, and propel yourself into a three-legged dog. Make a big spin open of the hip, going one direction and the other. And then replacing that right foot, settle into a static down dog. Let your body come back to the center. Let your breath come back. Sweeping that left leg up. Bend the knee, kick the heel back and open, left hip on top of right. Notice what's happening through that right shoulder and that you're not collapsing. You're really using the back muscles to keep the stability. Gently dropping that left foot to the mat. Flip into your wild thing. And when this comes to a close, reversing back out to your three-legged dog, hugging that nose and knee together, and then spinning the shin, coming into the pigeon right away. First, we've opened up through the back, done a little bit of back bending with our wild thing. So now our back is ready, it's open, coming into the back bend prep for our pigeon pose, really lifting up and open through heart center, walking those Spider-Man fingers back. Making sure that back foot stretching long behind us, front foot is flexed, heart is open, and then we can exhale. Maybe walking down to elbows, maybe stacking fists, perhaps bringing the forehead to the backs of the hands. If you need to add a prop underneath your left hip, to square the hips, go ahead and do so. The human mind is a funny thing. It's always reaching out for a thought to chase. Notice that you could just bring it back to the inhale and the exhale here. Inhaling, I'm breathing in. Exhaling, I'm breathing out. Slowly working back up to elbows first, and then up to hands, taking your time to get there. Just as you did before, notice maybe you have a little bit more space in the hips this time to walk those fingers back, lifting up and open through heart center, really finding that back bending potential for your pigeon pose. Front foot stays flexed, so you have a platform to come from. Really rolling the shoulders back and down. Keep that chin floating parallel to the floor, finding the breath here. And then releasing the palms, tuck the back toes under, and fly into a three-legged downward facing dog. Spinning open hip, taking it in both directions before replacing the foot down on the mat. Take a moment in downward facing dog. Inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. At the bottom of your exhale, bend your knees deeply, look for your thumbs, walk, float, or hop your feet in towards your hands. Softening at the knees, clasp your opposite elbow, hang into your forward fold. Drip your fingers to the mat. Slowly heeling and toeing your feet apart, come into your squat, just the same way you began class. Lift your heart into your thumbs, noticing you have a little bit more availability with your stretch in hips this time, gently dropping that tailbone straight down. On your exhale, release your palms to the mat, step your left foot back, leave your right foot forward, lizard lunge, dropping that back knee, untucking the toes and dropping them down. Perhaps this time it's available to you to take one elbow down, or maybe both elbows down. Maybe you're rolling onto the outer edge of the foot. If you'd like to take a twist here, turning your left arm parallel to the short edge of your mat, spinning open towards the open knee, and then just adding a little palm to the inside of the thigh, squaring shoulders as it feels good, breathing all the way down into the low belly. On your exhale, beginning to walk your way back out, coming to hands, elbows, walking slowly back up. Tuck your back toes under, lifting your back knee, propel yourself forward into your squat. Noticing the legs feel different from side to side here. Lifting the heart into the thumbs for a moment. Notice that you could relax your hips in a way that lets your tail drop towards the floor. And then dripping your hands down, step that right foot far behind you. Slowly bring the knee down, untuck the toes, turning those left toes out as much as you need, and maybe this time walking to elbow. Maybe both elbows, maybe one. Maybe using a block or a bolster here. Perhaps rolling onto the outside edge of your left foot. If you'd like to add a twist, turning the right arm parallel to the short edge of your mat, and then sweeping that left hand to the inside of your thigh. Slowly starting to transition your way back out, working back to the center line first, walking up to hands second, rolling back to the bottom of the left foot. Tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee, and propel yourself forward into your squat, garland pose, lifting your heart into your thumbs. Close your eyes here for just a moment. Placing your palms down, lifting the hips, heel toe the feet in so toes are pointing towards the short edge of your mat. Inhale, flattening your back. Exhale, finding your fold. Reversing your swan dive, soften your knees, come all the way back up. Exhale, palms come to press, Samasthiti, heart center. Pouring all of your body weight into your right leg. Work your left toes against the calf muscle or all the way up against the inner thigh, coming into tree pose for Kasana. Lifting your heart into your thumbs. Cast your eye gaze to something unmoving in the room. Step down deeply into the standing leg. Let your heart be as light as your lower body is grounded. Smile, noticing you're not taking yourself too seriously here. Maybe you'd like to inhale your arms up overhead. Maybe they feel good right at heart center. Slowly returning back to your Samasthiti. Take a moment to shake, rattle, and roll anything that feels like it got a little too tense. Transitioning your body weight to your left leg, walk that right foot in, finding palms to press at heart center, lifting the heart into the thumbs energetically. Noticing that the foot could be anywhere along the left leg except right up against the knee. Breathing into this space, adding a little bit of a smile to turn up the corners of your mouth. Eye gaze goes to something unmoving in the room. Maybe the hands begin to grow up towards the ceiling. And when this comes to a close for you, returning back to your Samasthiti. Inhale your arms overhead, microscopic back bend. Exhale, swan dive over your legs. Inhale, flattening your back. Exhale, finding your fold. Plant your hands, walk, float, or hop your feet behind you, rock forward, lower halfway, scoop, upward facing dog. And then flipping the feet, exhaling into downward facing dog. At the bottom of your next exhale, bending your knees deeply, looking for your thumbs. Walk, float, or hop your feet in towards your hands. Inhale to flatten your back. Exhale to find your fold. Hanging into your fold, place your palms down, heel toe your feet out wider, and sink down into your squat pose once again. Finding your hips are much more open this time. Placing the palms down, letting our lizard lunge just be a halfway point. So instead of toes turned out, flipping the toes back towards the short edge of our mat, cartwheeling up to your warrior two. Looking down at your feet, notice they're lining up. Eye gaze goes up over the right fingertips. Take that left hip, bring it down just a notch. Middle of the back foot in line with the heel of the front foot, adjust as necessary. If you need to adjust the front knee, roll up, opening out, and rolling back down. Hold here, find your breath, stay strong. Pressing the floor away with the front leg. Maybe heel toeing the back foot in. If you need to, hinge back into your left hip. Gently drop your right hand to shin, to mat. And transitioning to Trikonasana or triangle pose. Lengthening out through both sides of the waist. Use your top arm to gently draw you back up. Switch the feet if necessary to head back into your warrior two. Will flow here, finding an inhale, finding an exhale, finding an inhale, finding an exhale, finding an inhale, and an exhale to tip. Inhaling up, exhale, warrior two. Inhale, exhale, triangle. Working your side waist. Inhale, exhale, warrior two. Inhale, exhale, triangle. Inhale, exhale, hold, warrior two. Breathe into the space, roll those shoulders down and back. Send that left hip down, tailbone straight towards the floor. One more big breath in, and then exhale, cartwheel your hands up and over, step back. Find a vinyasa or straight to down dog, whichever you prefer. At the the bottom of your next exhale, bend your knees. Look for your hands, walk, float, or hop your feet in towards your hands. Inhale to flatten your back. Exhale to find your fold. Plant your fingers, heel toe your feet wider. Coming into your squat once again. Last time. Finding it as just a halfway point. Dropping the hands, walking the right foot back, turning the left toes forward. Setting yourself up for a different transition to your warrior two. Spinning yourself open, cartwheeling. Take that right hip, gently bringing it down. Checking out the feet, notice that they are in alignment. And then rolling the shoulders down. Eye gaze goes out over the left fingers this time. Imagine you're trapped in between two panes of glass. The only thing sticking out are the toes in your back foot. Pressing the floor away. As you exhale, hinge forward and tipping into Trikonasana. Find hand to shin or block. Roll more energy into the big toe mound of your front foot and tighten up that quadricep muscle. Lengthening out through both sides of the waist, only turning the head up if it feels good to you. Lengthening out the waist again, use your right top arm to lift you back up. Exhale your way into your warrior two. We'll take a small flow here. Finding an inhale, finding an exhale. Continue to look down, safe for the neck. Inhale up, exhale to warrior two. Inhale up, exhale into triangle. Inhale up, exhale to warrior two. Inhale, and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale triangle. Inhale up, hold your warrior two. Find the muscles spiraling around the bone. Open your heart. Eye gaze goes out over the left fingers. Breathe into the space. On your next exhale, cartwheel your hands up and over. Spin your back heel up. Step back into whichever transition or vinyasa feels good to you. We'll all meet in downward facing dog. On your next exhale, lengthening out into plank position, finding your hold here. Walking the feet back if you need to, bringing the knees down if you need to. Firming through the core, pressing the floor away, really finding some space here. Breathe into this plank position for 3. Igniting the legs. Find your breath. And then sinking the knees, widening them as wide as this angle of the mat is wide. Pressing back into a well-deserved child's pose. Fishtail gently from side to side, letting the hips sink towards the heels. On your inhale, slowly beginning to walk the way back up to your tabletop position, closing the knees under the hips. Taking 3 rounds of cow pose and cat pose. On the inhale, flaring your tail back, gently dropping your belly down, although it stays intact, looking slightly up. Exhale, tucking your tailbone under, rolling along the back, bringing the head down. We'll do that again. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Shifting your hips over to one side or the other, swinging the legs around in front. Grasping the hamstrings to roll yourself back on the mat. Walk fingers and toes closer together. Feet just about 1 block distance or 2 fist distance apart from one another. On the inhale, stepping into the feet, rolling up to your hip bridge. Backs of the arms bump against the mat. Opening up through the heart, walking the shoulder blades underneath your body. freeing up the throat for breath. Eyes look straight towards the ceiling. Jaw relaxes here. We'll find 5 more breaths in bridge. Keep wrapping the muscle around the bone, spiraling energy out as if you were trying to draw the knees closer in towards the center line, but there was this invisible force field keeping them just 2 fist distance apart. On your exhale, gently release your hands, tuck your tail as you roll down slowly, 1 vertebra at a time. As soon as the hips come down, inhale, tuck the tail, rolling back up to your bridge pose. This time, perhaps, hands begin to clasp together underneath your body. Once again, work the shoulders together more fully, opening up through the front of the body. Instead of collapsing through the back of the body, think about the lightness the upper body has to open out, to expand, the grounding through the lower body, using the legs, stepping into the feet. Remember that invisible force field wrapping the muscle around the bone here, finding 3 more breaths. And then separating the hands on the exhale, tuck the tail and roll down slowly, 1 vertebra at a time. Windshield wipering the knees from side to side. Gently releasing any tension. We'll take 1 more variation of bridge, whichever you preferred more, backs of the arms to the mat. Or on the inhale, rolling up, taking the bind underneath the body, working the shoulders together more fully, breathing into the back of the throat. The legs are helping here. We'll find 5 more breaths. Notice your strength, your endurance. And then separating the hands, tucking the tail, take a full exhale to roll down slowly. This time, begin hugging the knees in towards the chest, taking a gentle rock from side to side if you'd like. Opening your arms out to the side, drop your knees towards your left arm. And look out over your right fingers, taking a reclining twist. One more exhale draws the knees back to the center line. And then taking the knees to the right as you look to the left. As you exhale, draw the knees back to the center line. Hover the knees right over the hips, pressing the feet out, tucking the tailbone up and under, interlacing the fingers behind the head, closing the elbows in. Cross your right leg over your left, wrapping into Gayarasana or eagle legs. On your exhale, curl your upper body in, closing the knee towards the thigh, and then relaxing back. That's 1. On the exhale, closing in, 2. Relaxing back. 3. Follow the beat of your breath. The hands simply are a brain cradle, no pulling on the cervical spine. We've got 2 more. Heating the core, last one. Opening the arms out to the side. Take the legs completely to the left with the eagle twist. You can undo the bottom foot if you'd like. Reclining Gayarasana, eagle twist pose. As you exhale, unhook the top leg, spin the knees back to the center. Press the knees away so that they're right over the hips. Nice 90-degree angle here. Interlace the fingers behind your head. Close the elbows in. Cross the left thigh over the right thigh, maybe taking the full wrap. Gayarasana, eagle legs. Closing the elbows on the exhale. Lift the shoulders off the mat. And then relaxing back. That's one. Finding that nice crunch, shortening the distance from rib to hip. We're halfway there already. Lightness on the back of the head, no pulling on the cervical spine. Exhale, curl. Two more. Last one, curl, lift, 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 and relax back. Opening out the arms, taking the entire contraption over to the right side, untying the bottom lock if you'd like. Reclining twist with your eagle legs. Untie the knots in the little waist muscles, the intercostal muscles of the rib cage here. And then untying the top leg, roll back to the center on your exhale. Bring the legs, again, away from the body so that there's a 90-degree angle. Interlace the hands behind the head. On your exhale, curl, lifting up, we'll find breath retention. Hold the air out for 4, 3, 2, and relaxing back. We'll do it again. Exhale, curl, hold the air out for 4, 3, 2, 1. Relaxing back, do it again. Exhale, curl the air out. 4, 3, 2, and 1. One last time. Knees right over the hips. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relaxing back. Hug the knees in against the chest. Apanasana. Gentle rock from side to side. Anchoring the hands right below the hips. Palms down against the mat. Bring the knees stacked over the hips, opening out through the shoulders, elbows finding the mat. Create a Barbie toe effect with the toes, gently dropping that right leg parallel to the floor. Bring it back up, switch to the left, dropping it parallel to the floor, bring it back up, switching to the right. Tucking the chin in, making sure you're finding length through the spine. Continue to go on the exhale, drop. Bringing the knees back in line each time before dropping the other leg. Finding that core, finding that center here, keeping that light tuck of the tailbone with the aid of the hands. Sliding belly button through to spine. Uddiyana Bandha. We'll take 2 more. Rolling the knees in against the chest, catching the low back, sitting yourself up into a shoulder stand. Add a blanket underneath the shoulders, yet not underneath the neck. If you need a little more support, you can always walk your elbows in a little tighter or practice against the wall as well. Act as though you're putting on stockings that are hanging from the ceiling, reaching up, 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 lifting the hips, lifting the thighs. Barbie toes reaching towards the ceiling, freeing up space in the back of the throat. Gently curling the knees in towards the chest, release the hands and roll down slowly, controlling your way. Bottoms of the feet come to the mat. Very slowly but surely, opening one knee at a time. Finding a place here in Supta Baddha Konasana, reclining bound angle pose. Close your eyes. Let your body start to relax, cooling down, slowing down. Using your hands, begin to help closing the knees back together. Bottoms of the feet come to the mat. Palms going to the belly. Walk the feet as wide as this edge of the mat is, and let the knees fall in towards one another. Finding your constructive rest pose. You could take your Shavasana here. Or you can slide the legs long, letting the palms rest facing up. Lie in Shavasana for as long as you might need to today. Shavasana is quite possibly the most important of any pose you'll practice during your yoga, as it resets the body, making it ready for the next yoga practice.